Hello, here ye again. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, my YouTube family and friends. I am here once more. I'm just hoping you're okay where you are. I am here. And, if you're new to the channel, guys, please watch the video to the end. Give a thumbs up, share the videos. There's so many. There are 400 and something videos. There are videos with me singing, dancing, reciting poems, guys. Louise Bennett. There's Grandma's Reading Corner, where I even read The Cat, Puss in the Hat. That I read it in Jamaican patois. There's so much. There's some cooking, Jamaican style cooking to support my weight loss journey. Guys, get in there and dig up the old videos and watch them and leave me comments and just share them if they really helped you in any way. If there was even one word that uplifted you, then know that there is a word that might uplift somebody else too. So tonight I was compelled to just get back on here and just do a video. I'm not crying. I'm just like, I came home and I made a phone call that didn't go so well. And more than once I've been accused of cutting people off, and it's not a good thing, and it's, and after I hung up the phone, I started thinking, because for me personally, guys, when you talk about cutting somebody off, I am sorry. And again, I'll say I don't know how to edit this out of the video, but I'm just thankful that when something tickles or something tells my lung it shouldn't be there, that I'm able to cough a strong cough, right? So many people have to go through the struggle of keeping it there, not able to really give a good strong cough. So I am sorry, but it's that my sinuses are a little bit, need to change something in my diet again. I don't know what it is. Maybe gluten or something. There's something that I'm eating the past few weeks now that I should not be eating. Maybe it's the dumplings and the flour is all gluten. But I should cut that out or cut back on that again. But yes, after the call, it was an intense call. But one of the things that I don't know if it's judgmental, but I'm not perfect. I've never gone on stage and told anyone I'm perfect. I've always claimed imperfections because we're all imperfect. And your way is not my way. And therefore, we have to learn to understand those things. Because you don't go to church, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Christ didn't say, I'm coming back to call all of you who went to church. Because some of the people who go to church are some of the most interesting characters. The most interesting characters. Because when people go to church, you expect certain things from them. You expect lovingness, loving behaviors. You expect kind behaviors. You expect that from them. A lot of people go to church and that's all they have. I go to church, so I am a Christian. No. Christianity encompasses a lot more than that. So I know I've been told that I like to cut people off. And I want us to understand this, people. And now you talk to me. Tell me in the comments how you feel. Okay, a lot of us get in relationships and it's not working, right? But we stay in it. Why? A lot of us as Christians, well, the Bible says that when you get married, you cannot be divorced. And the Bible says, Yet we get up every day, and because of that connection to that negative relationship, we don't want to cut people off. We want to pretend. And when we're suffering, which would you prefer? To be honest with yourself and cut somebody off, or to sit there every time smiling like everything is okay when you know darn well that deep down you're angry and you're bitter, you're unhappy, you're unthankful, you're ungrateful. A lot of people, these are the things because they're in relationships, and when the relationship changes, when there's a lot, yes, they're in love and then, but when things become a little meager, then all of a sudden they're seething inside, they're angry, and and they harbor these things, but yet they portray to the world that, oh, all is well, and I'm a good Christian because for me, people, I don't know about you, but I can't pretend. If you hurt me, I'm going to let you know you're hurting me. If you're stepping on my toes, I'm not going to sit there and I'm going to tell you, listen, you're stepping on my toe. Could you stop? Because if people don't know, they're going to continue doing it. For me, I've had some challenges for the past few years. Not a long time, but for a few years now, maybe 3 or 4 years. Some things happened. And when those things happened, I still tried to keep going on, and keep supporting and keep doing. But then I didn't see where things changed. If you are, whether it's family or friends or whatever it is, and you are there, you're not obligated to anybody, but you're there and you're trying to say, all right, there has to be a better way. Let's try it this way and let's see. And no matter how much or whatever you do, people are still stuck in their way and they want things just this way. They're not willing to let go and see how they can make their situations different. Mind you, we're not getting younger. We're all getting older. Life situations are changing. What you could have gotten yesterday for $2, tomorrow or next week you go back to that same store and that same item now become $10. You're like, whoa, but that's life. So you always tell people, it says you wash in the first water you get to. Is it the hog washing in the first water them get to? So when you're getting support, you're going to use that support, and you're going to use that support to build, to be better, to change your situation. But you can't sit there and think that people should come all the time to support you while you're just sitting there with nothing. You're not giving up anything. You want things the same way, and you're not growing, you're not progressing. People are trying to explain things to you. You want to do things your way, and then when it doesn't work and people say, enough already, I'm done, then people start looking at you as being evil, and you are, like, they call you names because you're saying, if I am here, when I cut people off, it's not, I don't do it in hate. I don't. So people who are judging and saying this and that, I do not do people in any hateful forms. I'm a human being, and if I'm supporting and encouraging and helping, I'm building and I'm doing and I'm doing and I'm doing, and you're choosing and thinking that I'm going to sit there every day doing because so you can do what you want to do, I'm not that person. So when people to come to the understanding that as human beings, I don't know if you feel the same way I do, or if these things do happen to you, where you're helping and people are sitting there taking it for granted and think that you should be there every day doing. And so when you cut them off, all of a sudden you're the wickedest person. They don't remember any of the good you did. They don't. Because all of a sudden you're this bad person. My cutting people off is a mental thing for me. I don't like arguments. I don't like those things around me. And I said to many people, and they I am married. It's how many years now? You come in this house, you don't hear constant arguments. You don't hear people yelling at people and not in here. And whether you want to be a fly on the wall or you want to be a camera somewhere, you don't hear that kind of a combative behavior in here. Because it's not something that people have come here and stayed with me and whatever they want to say, they cannot go out and lie and say, yes, there are arguments in this house. They're not in here. So a lot of times when people reveal who they really are, because of that, sometimes, you know what, when all the toothpaste has left the tube, there's no way to put it back in. So it's good when you just say, you know what, enough. Sometimes we pretend to be deaf because we want to hold on to things and want to learn to be honest, people. If somebody's hurting you, cut them off. Especially if you're telling them and you see little foolish things that they're holding on to and they make it seem like a big deal and it's not even a big deal. Just get rid of the unnecessaries. Simple-minded people will call you petty and call you, oh, you don't know how to forgive and you don't know how. And it's always those people who create a lot of the unnecessary situations, who are quick to tell you. The Bible says we should not judge anybody. So I don't want anyone judging me either. I'm not judging anyone. Don't judge me. I get up every day and I say, thank God I'm here. And I reach out to you guys and I say, be thankful. Do the best you can do. Bless people the way you can bless them. But don't sit down with the petty thing. If I don't text you back, then it's a problem. And if I don't, then it's a... No. Don't let that. If you cannot deal with it, then just let it be. It means that that person is not right for you. If the things that I do offends you, then you don't need me in your camp. Don't hold on to me because of what I can do. Cut me loose. Let me be. So a lot of people don't want that. They want to tutor you and tell you. And religion it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing because a lot of people who are uneducated, and listen, when I say uneducated, it's not about the level of academics. I'm talking about common sense. I'm talking about people who will just look at this and they can't see anything else but somebody said. And let people fill their heads with things instead of them taking it for themselves, opening it up, deciphering it, make the connections. And say, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't make sense. They're not able to do it. They're just walking like this with blinders on, and anything else becomes a distraction. So they cannot focus. They just have to stay in this tunnel vision. And so everything else somebody does, if they laugh too loudly, oh, you're not a Christian. Oh, if you say no to something, or if you didn't do something, oh, you're not a Christian. Oh, you cannot say that. We need to just stop, people, and do you. If you are in a relationship, a friendship, a family thing or whatnot, and the person is not, then just walk away. You don't need to sit there every day stifling yourself. It's amazing how people will just sit there. And they don't like you because you are strong-spirited, and when you speak this way, but yet they sit there. People, it's okay to cut people off. It is so okay. After my conversation, I went on Google and I started looking at things and started reading up a few things. And I realized that it's okay. It is okay to cut negatives out of your life. It's okay. If you feel emotionally drained, if you feel abused, if you feel manipulated, if you feel devalued, if you feel deceived, if you feel like you are hard to be loved and respected, like you need to lower your standards to be in a relationship with someone, whether it's just a regular friendship or a marital relationship, or if you feel that any of these things are happening, cut them off. Don't sit there and talk about forgiveness and nothing changes, and forgiveness and nothing changes, and they take you for granted, and to cut them off. Don't let people put in your head about, oh, you need to change this, you need to change that. Don't change who you are. You have been who you are. You have built up and worked hard and have a backbone, and you have been given and given and given. And so now, because you have a mind of your own, people feel like, oh, you like to cut people off, and you need to stop it. You need to stop it. Don't stop it, because this is how we end up in abusive relationships. This is how we end up settling for less. Let people treat us like nothing. Let people shut us down because you don't value yourself enough to know that, wait, I don't need that kind of behavior in my life. There are many positive people out there that you can surround yourself with. People who are not judgmental. People who are not sitting there pretending to be, oh, none of us are ready to go to heaven. If that was the case, God would have come and taken his world already. He said we're all sinners. So none of us need to stand in a corner like we're holier than thou. Because we're all sinners. And we have come short of the glory of God. We can be better, but don't let people determine your worth. I said once, I said twice, I've said it 1,000 times. Do not let people determine your worth. Do not stick around in companies that when you speak, you have to be careful because they're going to evaluate and they're going to dissect. And all of a sudden, you give up your true self to become a pitiful human being who cannot stand up for what is right, who doesn't know how to speak anymore because they're going to say something. Speak the truth. If you're hurt, let people know you're hurt. Let them know you're hurt. If they want to call you whatever and call you, oh, you're unforgiving, what is forgiveness? Christ himself, when they treated him so badly at Calvary's cross, and I'm not putting myself near to God, because I'm not. At no point I ever said I was perfect. But even then, with what he went through, he said, Calvary's cross, he'll never forget. Even though he has forgiven them, on that cross he forgave them. But he said, I'll never forget it. So people figure because, you're forgiving it, you're not holding grudges. If the people reach out to you, need support, you're going to do it, but you just don't want them in your circle. What's wrong with that? You tell me, people, what's wrong with that? Should somebody stay in a situation where they're friends with somebody and things have become that kind of, it's not good. The judgmental things, they you this, you that, and the put down and the devaluing and do you have to lower your standards to stay in that? Or do you say, later for you? But the other reason I'm here, people, is because once I hung up that phone, I saw that there was a video sitting in my in my notifications. When I opened the video, when I opened the notification, I saw that there was something from Bev Brown. Life with Bev Brown. Guys, if you have not subscribed to her channel, go over there and subscribe to that young lady, that woman. Not a young lady anymore. She's a grown woman. Go over there and subscribe to her. As I said about that girl, I have known her from way back when I was in Trelawney, Jamaica. Because my mom is from Trelawney. My dad is from St. Elizabeth. I grew up in St. Elizabeth. So that's my thing, Then I moved to Trelawney and stayed with my aunt who was a dentist. Worked there in Duncan's Health Center, pulling teeth, cleaning teeth, filling teeth for children. And adults too. She wasn't supposed to do adults, but she worked on adults too. Bev Brown at the time was an adult when my aunt, So I opened up the video and Bev Brown is talking about Miss Bev. Talking about the days back then and some of it, I guess, listen, I was just humbled. I was very humbled. because it's been years I haven't seen or heard about Bev Brown. Years. Her sister was more the friend to me, but Bev was young then and was there with them. And when I'd walk up to their house, she had a little daughter then, and I would just go and sit and chat with her big sister. But when my aunt passed away, her big sister used to come to her house and she would help out to do things with my aunt and stuff. And when my aunt died, we had to do it on Zoom because of the COVID thing. She died from COVID. And so while we were panning around, I noticed like somebody who spoke was her sister. And I was so happy. So I reached out and got her number. And I started talking with the sister. The sister told me that her little sister, Bev Brown, had a channel. And I went over and I checked it out, and a little rocky and what have you. But you know what? I gave her prompts because regardless of her educational background, regardless of her whatever, she was not sitting down and looking for any handouts. She was there trying. That's what I like about people. I like to see a trying person. I don't care what it is you're trying with. If you're committed to it and you're pushing and you're trying, I am so there to help you. So that's what connected me to Bev again. I am a humble person. I like humility. She's saying some things that really humbled me, like, no, I'm not rich. I'm not anything near rich. I'm rich from the goodness of God that he has really blessed us. But we're not rich as in material things, because I don't care for material things like that. I am not hungry for anything that anybody has. I am good. I am okay. So Bev Brown, thank you, my dear friend. Thank you. The little that I do, Bev, it's because I always say to the God in heaven that as he blesses me, as he blesses my children, I've taught them that would be a blessing to others. We have never gotten up. We have never gotten up and just want. We have never had our hands stretched out, just wanting. We have never, I didn't raise my kids to be that way. And I have never been that way. We are always folding and said, here you go. We're always trying to support and help. So there's nothing out there that anybody has that I've ever looked at and said, oh, I would like that. I know I'm good. Because I always say too much means it's more dusting. It's more taken care of. And I don't want that. I don't want that. And as I got older, I said, I have enough. I don't want any more of anything. So thank you for your words, Bev Brown. Thank you for your kind words. And anything that we have done for you, we were happy to do it. There was a need, and we made sure that that need was taken care of. It's not like you had and was looking for more. You needed support, and we did. So with all of that, my dear, the call that the video that you sent me, it just put me back in a good place to know that there are people out there who do appreciate what we do and how we do it. There's no perfection here. I'm not perfect. I'm on my weight loss journey. All right? So there's no perfection. I work hard. I do the best I can do every day. When I need to take a day off, I take it off. But I put myself in a position so I can do that. And so whoever wants to feel differently about who I am, I come on, it's who I am. I don't need to come on to pretend. If I'm encouraging, I'm so sorry. My sinuses are just, if I'm coming on here and I'm encouraging you to do good, then it's what it is. It's what it is. If I'm coming on here encouraging you to do the right things, to share with somebody, because I cut somebody off after I've done so much for them, why are you going to make it look like, oh, you're telling people something and yet you're not? There's no one that I have walked away from that I have not been a blessing to. There's no one, no one. I've always tried to be the best Beverly I can be, and that's all I can do. And who doesn't see it that way, then it's what it is. But that's who I am, people. And all the people have been in my presence, the genuine people have been around me, knows that. I've never seen a situation where I can help and I haven't helped. Somebody was lecturing me like, you got to wait to let people ask you for help. You're always, as soon as you know they need help, here you are, doing. But then I said, if I have to wait for people to ask, then sometimes they're not going to ask and the situation gets worse. So it's a catch-22, people. It's a new year coming. Is it going to be a new me, or am I going to continue being me for all these, how much the years have been me? So thanks, Bev Brown, for appreciating, accepting, and just, I thank you, Bev Brown. Thank you. And please, guys, go over and support that person. Support her. A lot of you have gone over. I thank you for doing it, for helping her grow. She's growing slowly. We hope that something could happen so she could grow some more. Just grow some more. But God is good. And it says 1 cocoa full baskets. And when you give of yourself, Bev Brown, when you speak well of people, things will come back for you. I remember many, many years ago, before I owned a home, and I had just gotten to Connecticut, and one of my parents stopped by the house, and he said to me, Miss Salmon, the time I was Miss Salmon, and he said, Miss Salmon, my wife and I was able to buy a little home. And I was so happy for these people. I was so happy for them. And the husband turned and he says, I was renting a place at the time, and he said to me, Miss Salmon, you're going to own yours soon. When you're happy for other people's blessings, then you know what? The blessings come back right around to you. And it wasn't like it just happened. I was so genuinely happy. And he saw that I was genuinely happy for them. And when he said it, I felt like, because I always said I wasn't looking, I was working hard to make sure my kids were okay. Because my kids need to do better than I did. The struggles I had, my kids shouldn't have to do the same struggles. They must create their own struggles. So I was making sure they went to college, finished college, and so I wasn't even thinking of that. And then to see how much people be good, appreciate, be thankful, learn to give back. Don't just grab for yourselves, learn to give something back. Just give it lovingly. And as I say it again, I say this, I'm preaching now, right? But I always say this. I might be able to give you $10 because that's what you needed. But don't think because I'm able to give you $10 that if I have a need, my need is going to be different. I didn't give you the $10 and looking for you to give me back 10. When I did it for you, you needed it at the time. But what some of you are failing to understand and talking about, when you give and when you do good, you shouldn't look back to the person for it. Nobody's looking back to whoever they do good for good. What people are looking for, what I personally said, when you needed help, I was able to help you. Different stance, right? And my time, you're in my presence. It's not like you're somewhere else and I need help and I expect you to leave and come help me. But if you're in my presence and I need to have like a glass of water, it's not that I'm saying a tit for tat or I did for you could do for me. But if I'm here, you should remember the time when you needed and somebody didn't hesitate to help you. So it should be a happy thing to get up and say, Miss Bev, you're not feeling good, let me get you the glass of water. But a lot of people just feel like they should just take. Just keep taking. And because they feel like if you did good for them, they don't have to do it back for you. So they just live that way. That's not how it works, guys. If I help you with this and I need help with that to go over there, jump up and help me. Jump up and help. Don't let me have to ask you. It's not about giving for, because then if that was the case, when I give you $50, I would expect you to give it back to me. And maybe you couldn't give it back to me and we'd have a problem. So people might give you 50. They're not looking for 50, but just to move that pencil and put it over here. It's a blessing. And it shows appreciation, and it shows that good is good. But when you do good and people treat you a certain way and then talk about, oh, you shouldn't let your right hand know what your left hand know, and all this garbage that they pick up just to cover themselves, just to make sure that what they have, they keep it close to them while they're taking from other people. It's garbage. Don't do that. Let us do good whatever way we can and move on from there. So, Bev Brown, thank you. And again, people, I might have been preaching tonight, but I had to speak because I came home and I really felt just unnecessary. The conversation didn't go well. Let's just say that. I come home from work, guys, and when I come home, I like to be quiet for a moment. And because you don't get up and say how to do every day, sometimes people are just saying it because they can say it, and there's no meaning in it. Sometimes we just pass on things instead of writing a nice little message and make it personal. We just pass on something 10 million people keep passing around. So sometimes the messages are not even meaningful because it's not tailored to you and your needs. But whether or not somebody send or didn't send or whatever, people, as I said, a lot of times for me, I get these messages, but guess what? If I look and if I open them quickly and I don't respond right away, sometimes I'm at my desk, I'm ready to go start teaching, and I quickly just click, and I press them. So then by the time the day draws out and we have to do this and do that, and I forget that I didn't respond to some things. But you don't make it personal and then say, I'm not sending any more one. Or you don't make it. Just go and live in. If you don't want to send it, then don't send it. Don't send me stuff with anger or malice. Don't send it to me, even though you didn't do it, then I'm doing it. No, don't send it. I am okay. Just appreciate things and understand that people are people. And there are times you forget. Sometimes you forget. But it's okay. There's no anger. There's no malice. It's okay. 33 minutes of talking, people. But just know that I love each and every one of you in your own unique ways. I like when people try and build, and especially when you're supporting or you're giving them support. I like to see that people change their situation when they have the support to change it. Life changes, and as it changes, nothing is there waiting for us. Everything is going on and it's leaving us way behind. So when you sit there and you are procrastinating and you are, oh, I don't know, you can't make up your mind, you're wishy-washy. You're not ready to take the bull by the horn and say, look, I'm getting this opportunity, let me run with it. Wherever it takes me, as long as it moves me from this point to the next point, let me go with it. I don't know what's over there, but maybe something I can make a difference over there. Take your chances. Go out there and change your situations. Change it. You might find that might not be green on the other side. But if you're over here just looking over there and you want what they have, you got to know that the water bill is going to be higher over there for them green grass. So you have to be willing to get up. And John Brown has his green over there. For me to have that too, I better work hard. So just get out there, people, and work. Make up your mind. You can be wishy-washy and simple-minded. You can sit there and, oh, I don't know. I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. You're doing 40 things and nothing is making sense. Stop. Work on something that makes sense and go forth. In peace and in love. Thank you, people.